Good afternoon, folks. I want to tell you about another treasonous rat bastard. Glen Beck. Glen Beck was working opposite O'Reilly on Fox News. And what was the specific intellectual hit job that Glen Beck was responsible for? Mocking the 9/11 truthers, to take us off of the track, to get us not to investigate the crime, which was a crime in itself. Beck is a treasonous, traitorous bastard. He's another Israel firster. He knows what he's doing. He went after Trump from the get-go, trying to get us not to vote for him. He's a treasonous, traitorous, rat bastard. And I don't care what he's done to bring himself around. I don't care who he's interviewed. He does his best to obscure stuff, keep things stirred up, and he does his best to keep us from going after the truth, especially when it comes to 9/11. You see, what you and I have to agree upon is that a crime occurred on 9/11, and it was never investigated. Those are the only two facts right now. A crime occurred, or series of crimes, and there was no investigation. They covered it up. They hauled all of that steel that had been detonated using thermite, put there by that Jeb Bush and his outfit, painting the damn thing with thermite. Yeah, one of the Bushes planted the damn explosives in those things to take them down. Folks, we're in deep shit. And we got people like Glen Beck who mock us for not believing it was two airplanes, or it wasn't a bunch of ragheads who had super passports that were indestructible, that just happened to be found. Guys that were trained to fly little Cessna airplanes and couldn't even take off those little planes. So how the hell are they going to fly jets in those incredible patterns? They aren't. They didn't do it. That was a frame-up. The purpose of the frame-up was detailed back in the Civil War. The general, man, I can picture him. He had long hair, and he worked with the Indians in Mississippi. And he was about the highest ranking secret society guy in the country, and he passed everything on to Albert Mancini in Italy, who took over the reins from him, and he founded the Cosa Nostra, which wasn't Italian, by the way. Just so that you know, Hollywood fed that stuff to you to throw you off the track. Who else wears hats like that? Who else wears those gangster hats like that? Come on, folks, you aren't that dumb. You know who wears those gangster hats. There's your organized crime, your Cosa Nostra, your hitmen. Albert Pike. I believe he's one of the only men to be buried in D.C., and he's buried in the basement of one of those Masonic lodges. He charted the course for the world wars, and in World War III, it was supposed to be Christendom pitted against the Muslims so that we would decimate each other. It's what those evil bastards do. Go look up Albert Pike. He wrote Morals and Dogma, I believe. I had that book when I was a young man. Big, beautiful hardback book. I think I read it, but I don't remember much of it. I read a lot when I was younger. Anyway, Glen Beck is a treasonous, traitorous rat bastard. He's a mockingbird agent for the CIA. And of course, they give them specific hit jobs. And they will talk a little bit about the truth and mesmerize you and entertain you. And give you bits of truth that you've never heard of before. But then they will obscure the real facts. They will undermine you and undermine this country. Glen Beck has undermined this country. You don't get syndicated unless you bow down and worship those ugly people that have America, have a stranglehold on America. Okay, you want to come up? She's still got the cone on her head. If I take it off, she licks her wounds and we have to start over again. So I'm calling out Glen Beck. He's a traitor. He did his best to divert us. He did his best to divert us away from Trump, electing him for president. And he's done his best to diverting us away from 9/11 and following the truth on it. That's high treason, to cover up that high crime through which this country was hijacked. That false flag. And who ran that damn thing? Cheney, the vice president, whose daughter's that senator from Wyoming that finally got herself unelected because she was more Demo-rat than she was Republican. She was a rhino. She was insisting on committing that fraud on January 6th. Yes, there was an insurrection, and she helped cover it up. She was part and parcel to it. She should be tried for high treason. Her family should be tried. Her father should be tried for what he set up, sending our jets out to sea while those planes, or whatever it was, took those buildings down. He ran as much to obscure things as he could during that exercise. There's a lot of ugly families like that in this nation. Treasonous, traitorous, rat bastards. All right, that's all I got for you right now. I think this is going to be 112 or 113. I'll number it shortly here. May Yahweh bless you. May you bless Yahweh. May Yahweh bless you to make you good again, to make America good again. That's the only way America becomes great. You don't just make America great again. It doesn't work that way. You make America good again, and the greatness will follow. Turn to Yahweh. Read your Bibles. Learn His name. Learn His Son's name. Read it and be less prone to being deceived. Barack Obama set this thing up. He is the man of lawlessness. The Bushes used to tease each other, and Barack is in the Bible. The name is in the Bible. Go look it up. And the Bushes would tease each other as to which one was Gog and Magog. So these folks will take biblical names and characters and do it to mock us and mock our faith and mock the Bible. Yahweh will not be mocked. So, are you going to remain an enemy of Creator Father Yahweh? Are you going to continue to turn your back on Creator Father Yahweh? Because if you are intent upon being His enemy and continuing to show Him your back, I have news for you. It is terminal. You can read about it in the Bible in 2 different books, which is a double witness, which means Yahweh wants you to pay attention to this and learn this. It's in Deuteronomy and Leviticus. You have the consequences for disobedience, which are twice as long as the blessings for obedience. And the consequences for disobedience are terminal. So you are electing to terminate your country, to terminate your nation, to terminate your people, to terminate yourself. It is a slow, long road to hell. And it will result in hellfire. That's what they're trying to bring upon you right now. That's what they want to do. They want to fulfill that biblical prophecy. And they've done a real good job of leading us astray. Especially the error of Balaam. Read about Balaam and his talking donkey in the Bible. Find out what it was he instructed the Israelites to do that resulted in plagues. Yes, plagues. That's all I got for you folks. Over and out.